Hello everyone, this is Joman, and in this video I'll explain about the arithmetic series. So in the previous video we've talked about the arithmetic sequence, and a series is simply the sum of all terms that occur within a sequence. So like for example, the series is the first term plus the second term plus the third term and so on until the nth term. And of course we're not counting every single series manually, because sometimes we have to work with so many numbers. So we're using a formula. And to find the formula, we're gonna apply the Gauss method. A Gauss method is simply you add up the same sequence but in reversing order. So like this. In the first summation, you add the first term, the second term all along until the nth term. But in the second summation, which is actually the same summation, you add from the nth term, the n minus 1 term until the first term. Now, using the general formula to find the value of nth term, we can use this formula. So we can write the summation as this. Now, if we add this to summation, then we'll get this value, 2Sn equals to 2a plus n minus 1 times d, 2a plus n minus 1 times d, and so on. Notice that these values are actually constant, or not literally constant in algebraic terms, because they are variables, but the value remains the same. So here's 2a plus n minus 1 times d, here's 2a plus n minus 1 times d, and here, this one also, this one also. How many 2a plus n minus 1 times d's are there? There are n. So we can simply write 2Sn equals to n times 2a plus n minus 1 times d. Now, if we divide both sides by 2, then we'll get the summation formula. So divide both sides by 2, and then we'll get n plus 2a plus n minus 1 times d divided by 2 equals to Sn. So this is the general formula to find the sum of all terms that occur in a single sequence. Now we're going to write 2a as a plus a. So it will look something like this. N times a plus n minus 1 times d. What is a? A is the first term. Okay. And then what is a plus n minus 1 times d? It is actually the nth term. So basically, we have just found another formula to find the sum of all terms in a single sequence. So yeah, here's the formula. You can either use the first formula, or you can either use the second formula, n times the first term plus the last term divided by 2. Here's your first example. Calculate minus 11 plus minus 7 minus 3 and so on until 41. So what I want you to do is take a look at what we have here. So minus 11, this is the first term, or a. And then 41, this is the last term. Now the general formula for every arithmetic series is n divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term. We've already gotten these two numbers, and right now we're going to find the value of n. Now we're going to apply the concept of arithmetic sequence here. So take a look. The last term equals to a plus n minus 1 times d. Now the last term is 41, and the first term is minus 11 and minus 1. The difference, if you can see here, minus 11 minus 7, so the difference is minus 7 minus the negative of 11, so it will be 4. So yeah, now if we add both sides with 11, we'll get 52 equals 2n minus 1 times 4. Divide both sides by 4 to get 13 equals to n minus 1. Therefore, n equals to 14. There are 14 terms in the sequence. Now, how to find the sum of all terms? Yeah, we simply just plug in the values of n, a, and tn, or the last term. So 14 divided by 2, a is minus 11, the last term is 41. Now 14 divided by 2 equals to 7, minus 11 plus 41 equals to 30, and the result of the sum of these 14 numbers equals to 7 times 30, which is 210. Here's another example. The Metropolitan Football Stadium has 200 rows of seats. So row 1, row 2, row 3 until row 200. So it must be the number of terms, or n. So n equals to 200. The first row consists of 24 seats. So a equals to 24. And the next row has 8 more seats than the current row. So the difference will be 8. How many seats in total are there in the stadium? So the question requires us to find the Sn, and we have this formula that we used in the previous question, but I do not prefer you guys to use this formula. Instead, we're going to use another formula that we have also discussed, which is this formula. So we have the value of n, we have the value of a, and we have the value of d. So as n, or as 200, we substitute the value of n here, equals to 200 divided by 2 times 2 times a, so 2 times 24, plus 200 minus 1 times 8. So here, if you find this form difficult to calculate, since you have to calculate 199 times 8, you can actually distribute it. But first, yeah, let's do the other calculations first. So 200 divided by 2, 100. 2 times 24, 48. Plus, yeah, we're going to distribute. So 200 times 8 minus 1 times 8 here. Okay, now we keep the 100, and then 48 plus 200 times 8 equals to 1600. 1 times 8 equals to 8. So here 100 times 1640. Yeah, because you're adding 1600 with 48 minus 8. Now 100 times 1640 equals to 164,000. So in total, there are 164,000 seats in the stadium.